Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the week 5 check-in. I feel like this week really flew by. It did take me a couple of days to really get into the material because last weekend was such a mess. So week 5, the chapter is recovering a sense of possibility, and this is basically the manifesting chapter. This whole book is very manifesting, but week 5 especially, there's a big focus on finding and pursuing your dream life, which I would be excited about, except going on vacation, I just accomplished what was my biggest goal for the year, and what's left is basically things I've been trying to achieve for so long, but things keep getting in the way. So I don't want to focus my energy on something where every time that I've tried, it's been kind of taken away from me in a way that's very painful. So I have kind of a long-term vision, but those are things that I put to the back because I'm I don't have active steps right now to pursue that. And right now I'm trying to figure out what my next steps are with goal-wise, because even with things like swimming, I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. So it's just okay, I have for the last year or so known what my next step was, and now starting from zero and really really zero, it feels how do I even begin to begin? You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what the starting point is. I don't know what I want, and I've been trying so hard to uncover that. And there were quite a lot of activities this week with sort of the aim of singling out and discovering what those things are, what those goals should be, or targeting areas of your life that you want to have that sense of change in. But I feel some of mine were so either so vague I couldn't think of anything actionable to do, or honestly very direct, but I will not be quitting my job. Sorry. I have to put me first. I'm sorry, I have to put me first. And that looks like a paycheck right now. So, along with these exercises, there's the point of them, just give an example. There is one that is the wish list. So it says, I wish, and there's 20 instances. Well, it's 19, and the last one says, I most especially wish. And she just says, as quickly as you can, speed write, fill them in. And the point of speed writing is that it's supposed to capture your truest thought, or what you're thinking before you can dismiss it. But for me, when I felt like when I'm speed writing, I'm not writing down what I actually want. I feel like I'm writing on the first thing that comes to my head. And that's supposed to be the point. But for me, I'm imaginative. I'm creative. I don't actually want these things. I'm just like writing. And then for the tasks, as well, there's a repeat of, I don't know if I mentioned the imaginary lives before, but there's a repeat of the imaginary lives list. You think of 5 imaginary lives you would like to live. Like, oh, I could be an actress, maybe I could be a programmer, like things like that. 5 lives you could live that you aren't living. And I felt like I wrote some stuff down that I was like, I would never want to do this, really. So, like, midway through the week, I was like, I want to redo these exercises because I don't feel like they're reflecting what I really want. But when I was going through them, especially the imaginary lives, I was like, well, these aren't wrong. The thing with the lives, though, is it's not that I wanted to do that title or that profession or be that thing. It was that each thing represented to me a state of being that I want to live in. Like being admired or recognized for being capable and strong, performing well, that sort of thing. I desire a lot to be recognized and awarded in a way. I don't necessarily want to be famous, but I want someone to tell me like I'm doing a good job and like I'm good enough and the things that I do are great and they have meaning in the world and that my perspective is valuable. So this exercise helped me to not discover because I sort of knew that about myself, but those 5 imaginary lives that I wrote down like reinforce that, how much I want what I'm going through to be worth it and for other people to see that it's worth it. So I guess that was valuable in a sense, but it didn't help me think of what my short-term goals are or even my long-term goals. And this is kind of a thing that I struggle with in general, is I feel like it's really easy for me to commit to something or like do something if I can see the process from beginning to end in advance. Then it's like, okay, I just have to do it. No matter how like difficult it might seem on the outside, as long as I just know the steps to take, I'm like, okay, I just take them, I just do it. I would say, just as an example of that would be me learning how to drive. When it comes to other things where it's like, I don't know what'll happen or where it's going or like why I'm doing it, or like writing a book or a story, I know I have to write it, and then that's about all I know. So I'm like, ooh, hard to get that going. Or if I just don't know the total process, I can't. Maybe that's why classes sort of like motivate me more, because I just know I just have to do this for like 12 weeks or whatever amount of time, and then I've done it. And then there's stuff that's like there's no time frame, there's no like real process. You just sort of do it on your own. That, I don't know. It's very difficult for me. Anyway, back to the material. One section I think is particularly valuable is titled The Virtue Trap. And this is basically a discussion on how we are so willing to give so much of ourselves to other people, but anything that we want for ourselves or that can be labeled as selfish, we see it as like wrong to move forward in that. And I definitely noticed that in myself, in that sometimes I feel like I shouldn't be having like nice experiences or doing nice things or getting nice things for myself, because I've mentioned this in a video before, but because I can't like bring other people with me or like share those experiences with other people, especially with my family, I feel like I should deprive myself of them. And I'm trying not to do that and not to think like that and just like be okay with being selfish. All right, let's get into the check-in. Number 1, how many pages a week did you do your morning pages? I did 7 out of 7 morning pages. I'm pretty good at that. The pen that I always have with my journal, I like dropped it into my seats in my car, and I was like, well, the only pen I have, there it is. I had another one, but it was also like I left it somewhere. So there was one day in particular, I was like, before I go to sleep tonight, I need to find a pen so that I can do my morning pages tomorrow and for the rest of the week. When I woke up late a couple of times this week for work, I was like irritated that doing my morning pages would make me even later. But I did it anyway, and it didn't make too much of a difference. It was like 15 minutes. The thing is, I can do them pretty fast as long as I don't zone out while I'm writing, which I do a lot. I should be writing the thoughts down, but instead I finish a sentence and it's like my brain goes on a tangent and I just like sit for a while, which would not be bad to me if I had the time to do that, but I have to go to my job. So that's what makes it so like aggravating. But in general, I like doing the morning pages. I don't go back and read them or anything. I don't feel like I've had like a huge revelation or anything while doing them. But I just like journaling. So whatever. I'm having a pretty positive experience with them. I'm fine with that. All right. Artist date. I actually just got back from seeing Alien Romulus. It is fine. I think it's better than the Prometheus trilogy movies, and better than Alien Resurrection. However, I did feel Joss Whedon's influence in it, and I don't like his work, so I didn't like that. But the criticism I have for Alien Romulus is the same criticism I have for all the other Alien sequel movies. So it was spooky, scary. It was very much giving like action movie more than horror. Lots of body horror, but it's Alien. To me, it was worth the ticket, but I had a free ticket voucher it was a gift from someone like last year. So I was like, let me use this to see this movie because I always watch the Alien movies. So might as well. And I feel like free ticket plus I needed an artist date. So I was thinking about going and thinking about not going. And I was like, well, I have to do an artist date, so I should just go. And going to the movies alone for me is like no big deal, no sweat. I love it actually. Let me be by myself. So all in all, neutral experience. So, I'm satisfied. I have not really had what I would call a super adventurous artist date yet, not by my choice, at least. So maybe that's something that I'll try to do if I can think of something adventurous. I did want to get a massage, which is something I've been thinking of and wanting to do and also putting off because it seems intimidating to me to try to find someone. Any type of beauty service or spa service to me is a little bit intimidating for me to try to do because I don't know, maybe I have trust issues, but trying to find a reputable person is very stressful to me. So I found someone near me who the price is good and the reviews are good. However, that person, it seems like they're the business owner and the only practitioner there. So it seems like they're on vacation for the rest of the month. So I don't know. I'm not going to be able to do that for a few weeks, but I want to do it. So that'll be a bit of an adventure for me. But I'll be on the lookout also for other places I can go and things that I can do that are a little bit more of a leap for me, because I have been doing kind of safe things, which is fine. Synchronicities. I feel like I did experience one big one. I was thinking about redoing my room, but I had decided it was going to be so much work for just me to do, when honestly I just want to move, that I was like, you know what, it's fine. But there's some work that has to be done in the house anyway that will require my wallpaper being taken down. So I have the opportunity to paint the walls. And I was like, if I have to paint the walls and move everything away from the wall and do all that anyway, it's actually not that much more work for me to get a few things that I wanted to get and move some things I wanted to move. Hopefully this process just moves fast and I can make a sort of better situation for myself for the time being, since I'm going to be here anyway. And that even, I'm just going to roll with it, because that even was kind of sort of on my vision board. I had it was like an article title. It said "A Small Sanctuary," and I cut it and I put it on my vision board. And did I have a specific thing in mind? Not really. But as long as this is the door that's opening up, I'm going to go through it. So yeah, it's not exactly what I want, but I'll take it. Quality of life improvements. Let's roll with it. So, and other issues. There was one-ish pretty big one. So, like I said, because I've been struggling all week with the idea of goals and vision and trying to identify what I want, I was not able to do most of the tasks for this week. Okay, so I was missing 2, but honestly not that bad. But the other ones that I chose were to start an image file, which is basically a collection of vision board pictures. I was like, okay, I need to, or I wanted to make a new vision board to begin with. Actually, even, this is another synchronicity, even when I pulled out the book to start my reading for the week, I happened to grab some magazines that I had, and I was like, okay, when I finish with my reading, I'm going to start collecting stuff for a new vision board. So at that point, I was like, ooh, I'm right on track. Everything's going great. I finally figured out manifesting. And then I felt really like bogged down with this feeling of like nothing was jumping out at me or like feeling right to me. I was trying to be on the lookout for images and things like that, and because my fourth task was the imaginary lives. I did do that. I actually didn't do that bad on the tasks. It was just the image file that I couldn't do, and with the imaginary lives, it was also saying collect images. Not all of them, but some of the other tasks that I did, they were also like, grab some images for your image file. And I couldn't really start an image file because I was like, I don't know what I want. So that had me feeling like a failure this entire week. But looking back, I did most of my tasks as best as I could. I low-key could have just done a different one. But I was like, oh, well, I'm going to do this anyway. I thought it was going to be so easy for me. Wow, look at life. So, I tomorrow am going to jump into week 6. This like goals thing, it's still very heavy on my mind. It feels like when you save up a lot for a big purchase and then you buy the thing and your savings are at like 0 again. I feel quite disheartened. I was very like energized and like proud of my accomplishments, and I still am. But now it's like, what now? Like I'm starting over again. I'm at the bottom again. So that's what I'm dealing with. Week 6 is recovering a sense of abundance. And on the side here it says, this week you tackle a major creative block, money. Ooh. You are asked to really look at your own ideas around God, money, and creative abundance. The essays will explore the ways in which your attitudes limit abundance and luxury in your current life. You'll be introduced to counting, a block-busting tool for clarity and the right use of funds. This week may feel volatile. That sounds a little bit stressful, but also I'm intrigued. So let's get into it. All right, that's going to be it for me for today. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. If you liked the video, like the video. If you related to anything that I've been saying here, share with me in the comments. If you want to keep following me along on this journey, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Period. Okay, bye!